Libra, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for November 24th through to the 1st of December. So funny. I was just thinking of how Christmas is under a month away by the end of next week. As the time that I'm recording this, the sun is currently still in Scorpio, 26 degrees. The lion and the deer is what we got for the week ahead. And while you're watching this, you can contemplate both archetypes and how we have both of those within us. There are moments where we are the lion, and there are moments where we just want to be that sweet Bambii fawn drinking from a stream, understanding the delicacy of the moment and how tender it is. So when you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. This is from the Rumi deck, by the way. When you fly toward heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair and yearning, your joy leads the way. You will be the kingdom and the king. You will be the paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you will be faith. You will be the lion and you will be the deer. Libra, this week we are the lion and the deer. We are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and we are silent, sweet, and gentle. If Rumi should come to us in arrogance, we roar at him until his falsehood quakes in fear. So terrified he gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If Rumi should come to us in surrendered adoration, open to whatever we may wish, we are so gentle. Like a deer, we offer nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then, I do not fear my own errors. For even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw, succor evoking the tenderness in us. Whatever is needed to keep us true to love is what Libra gives to Rumi. For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle in the mildest breezes of spring. It feels like we're balanced, and I love that this card has a new moon on it. There is a new moon happening on the 1st of December at 9 degrees Sagittarius, with Pluto having entered Aquarius, our 5th house. We are cranking up the heat. We're cranking up the levels of radiance and presence. This is a theme that I feel personally in my life after having started my meditation journey, literally even to the point of where I've started consuming neem and turmeric in the morning before meditation. And it's like on the bottle of neem, it says it will cure light acne. So it's exciting to think about the possibilities and what is developing under our loving present gaze as we set intentions and carry those out with repeated actions to ensure that that's what we're focusing on bringing in. Okay. This oracle brings a special message. We are rediscovering a part of ourselves that has been lost or submerged underneath more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be our true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. We are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how these talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. And last night it was written shame or fame, guilt or triumph, doubt or glee. And I think that being balanced is really the key for us to move forward. Okay. It may even be about who you are, as how we do what we do is the major part of all of this. How we show up when we've gotten what we wanted, how we show up when we don't, how we show up when we feel like we've communicated and people understand us, and how we show up when it feels like no one understands us. Do we still come from the heart? And that's something I feel that we're dialing in. If you now admit your talent or other emerging personality traits, talent's definitely on fleek for us. So in our 3rd house, we have Mercury retrograding back to I believe 6 degrees Sagittarius, where we'll learn how to receive our own talents within ourselves in a new light. And this full moon, or new moon, and this sun at 9 degrees Sagittarius is giving us ways of acting that convey our passions by the 1st of December, that really lends to our vibrance. It lends to the sense of worthiness that we have to just be ourselves without any results, without anything like in the moment to come back to us, knowing that when we plant seeds from a place of love, they will root, they will blossom, they will lead us to bountiful harvests. Perhaps what's being unearthed in us now is darker. Our sacred rage, a refusal to accept disrespect in our life, and our inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is a need to be both. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. That's where this sacred balance is. And Black Moon Lilith will move to 17 degrees. At the start of the week, she starts out at 16 degrees. So there's truly a intuitive, with the moon in Virgo in our 12th house, an intuitive putting our finger on what feelings might trigger the insecurities, the self-judgment, the depreciating thoughts, or the judgment of others. When we judge others, it's just the same as judging ourselves, because we're seeing a reflection. And the moon finishes in Sagittarius, our 3rd house. So it goes from 12 to 3, giving us, my neck is so tense, feeling like I have to control everything. Apparently that's what that means on a metaphysical level. So let's see. The guidance of this Lion and the Deer Oracle brings is that we shall prosper most now if we are willing to become what we've believed ourselves to be. It was never really true anyways, that view. Oh, if we are willing to unbecome what we have believed ourselves to be. It was never really true anyways, that view. It was partial at best and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of our previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into fuller experiences of our being. And some of that previous identity will be shed as it's too limiting. It just won't feel true for yourself anymore if it ever did. All right. Okay. So I guess we don't have to compromise our personality anymore. And as it comes up, as it appears closer in the rear view, we'll be continuing to go towards the direction of rebirth. Look, the shaman's at the bottom of the deck, which you see this cosmic serpent and a diamond, a hand reaching out. Whoa. And we have the orphan again. Oh yeah, there's major energy around something that we've abandoned within ourselves. Again, to have that more like compact version of ourselves. We didn't feel comfortable being fully us because there were maybe one too many conditions imposed upon us from a young age. One too many people who were influential, who could do and say things that would limit our sense of value if we were authentically ourselves. And with this opposition building between Chiron and Black Moon Lilith, it feels like a major thorn is getting removed from our side. The water carrier, what really matters, reflect and reprioritize. So there is a reprioritization to reclaim the parts of ourselves that we fragmented down, to live our best life genuinely and authentically, and to see who wants to come along, because those relationships will be a lot more fruitful. In most parts of the modern world, humans have become disconnected from each other and the planet. Yeah, it's like we've started living these roles that really don't fulfill us. They don't get the things done and organized in our communities that matter. And it feels like we're closing the gap by readopting a part of ourselves that has a lot to say. It's not just looking nice and showing up for the photo op. It's really coming into a truth that is so sovereign, and it's very goddess-like. It's very commanding. It's not just whimsical, take it or leave it. It's like, this is how I stand. And when you stand in that sense of integrity, People will come to you because they'll want to know what you're doing and how you've managed to gain so much self-assurance. So we've forgotten simple things like where the water sustains us even comes from. We speak about creating harmony and peace on earth, but really our focus should be on creating harmony and peace within. Is it possible that our disconnection from seeing Earth's resources as sacred has made us so disconnected? When we look into the future, we can see that without water, there can be no human life on Earth or animal life. Without water, humanity will not survive. This is a card about getting our priorities right and focusing on what truly matters. In our busy world, it's so easy to get caught up in things that seem important and urgent when really, at the end of the day, we realize that worrying about them has just been a waste of time, resources, and energy. It's time to take a moment to pause, reflect, and reprioritize, to focus on what really matters. Chop wood, carry water, sweep the floor, care for those in our community, understand what's really, truly important, and act accordingly. And I get it. I lived like paycheck to paycheck, week to week for a very long time. And it feels like once I just dropped in and surrendered to caring for myself, I extended myself to my community first and foremost, because I knew that my remote work could only take me so far, and it was actually limiting me. Like, I wasn't getting sunlight during the hours that the sun was out. I also wasn't willing, which could have been my own sacrifice that I sustained myself for monetarily a little bit longer, to get up earlier. But it's like we can't force things whenever they're not working. There's no forcing it, and it feels like maybe we've done that one too many times. We forced a situation, abandoning our heart, abandoning what we really wanted to do because we weren't feeling courageous and brave enough to roar at lies and deception that was in our face, and it was hurtful, but we decided to be the deer in a situation where someone was being a lion, rather than match energy and be like, no, I actually have morals to stand on. I have a sense of self. I have a spine. And now it's like we're developing that. We are the shaman reconnecting with the orphan part of ourself this week. And here we see the child again. Page of Coins. And it's interesting. The orphan has given this flower, but here it's a pentacle with a flower inside. So there might be a part of us that really does need time and space to blossom, to reconnect with the planet, to reconnect with natural resources, to have 5 minutes barefoot, no matter how cold it is where you are. Go inside and take a hot bath after that, or, just have some sort of sacred honoring ritual for this new moon in Sagittarius. I feel like fire rites are very powerful and potent. Let's see, I want to look at the Page of Coins from the Dali deck, and then we'll look at the Kim Kranz cards. Proof, one's talent, revealing the invisible. I love this. This coin is a gift of life. It reflects the way we are a treasure to ourselves and our surroundings if we realize our talent. Just like if we realize how much effort and energy it takes to grow something or not, like fertile soil is a great place to plant seeds. I just visited a property yesterday where they send love to the seed, and the seeds grow because of the natural flow of the waterways, of the natural shedding and precipitation. It just naturally sustains the environment. So the Page of Coins challenges us to rediscover and reevaluate our practical abilities. We should reassess the obvious, just like picking up a coin that has been lying on the street unnoticed. Our own talents often seem to us to be insignificant, like the big, transparent dragonfly at the bottom of the picture. The intrinsic and prototypical is often hidden in the invisible. We do not take ourselves seriously, or we have the wrong idea about what talent really entails. You might think that only expert or famous entertainers possess a special gift. In reality, every person has special talents. We only have to learn to understand the value of our unique experiences and abilities. Yeah, the stories we tell. Major, and it's going to shift dramatically with this Mercury retrograde. So shouts out to the next few weeks posing as an opportunity to really get clear on how much, and because Jupiter is retrograde, it's going to somewhat follow. And let's see. through to December 15th, we'll have this retrograde period, and Jupiter will back it up to 15 degrees. So there will be a 9-degree orb at maximum until, let's see. No, it's going to get even smaller. So 9-degree orb at maximum until like the end of the year, before Jupiter stations direct. So it feels that we're learning to tell new stories about our value, about what we can do, about who we are, Libra. The process of becoming a child again often drags the ghosts of yesterday from their graves, as symbolized by the figure on the right in the picture. So it's like a blue serpent. But that's the cosmic serpent again. This blue snake is something that I learned about too at Omram's Omram's pyramid in Mount Shasta. Do not allow ourselves to be confused, but keep on searching and evaluating our experiences and results. You will find the right answer to questions by examining our value system. What has dwindled in importance? What has recently grown in significance? Everything can be of value if you consciously make it your own. And Taurus represents value. Taurus represents how we appraise our worth and appraise our value. And with Uranus moving to 24 degrees from last week to this week, it's going to feel like we have an art of appraising ourselves in ways that tell a new story. They allow for our depths to be something of value. They allow for our deaths, ego deaths, to be of something of value, for us to be the shaman traveling through our history and collecting these parts of ourselves that have fragmented off due to trauma, collect them and restitch them, to harvest them, to bring them and make them into a very fertile soil to plant new intentions about who we are and the stories we tell. The practical advice of the Page of Coins: become an explorer. A simple walk through the town or countryside can be an adventure full of surprising discoveries. Regard your relationships and encounters, your duties and tasks in the same spirit. And now, the shaman and the orphan. The magi, the sorcerer, and the medicine woman. In light, fearless student and practitioner, so being a student, definitely, for sure. When dark, overpromises, blames, hurts self and others. 3 archetypal ingredients constitute the shaman, and all must be present in order to reveal its magic. First, the shaman is activated by long-standing and diligent study. Second, its orientation is generously and accurately aimed toward the healing of the self, the other, and the culture. And third, the shaman has a knack for finding doorways to the other world, allowing psychic visions and old magic to leak into this world. In this way, the shaman is the master who bridges the everyday and the sacred, revealing potent power needed desperately in our time. Yet where there is power, there is shadow, so the shaman must be vigilant in studying their darkness. This card reminds us that the force of healing is ultimately not our own. We must shape it and share it with the world. I would say that Pluto is going to help us with that. Pluto is going to deliberately show us where we have not put boundaries around how we create, how we show up in our connections, our romantic connections, our friendships, our childhood energy, because Pluto is now moved to our 5th house. So Pluto's got our back, and it will just show us gently, and then maybe a little bit dramatically, if we're not willing to say no to people lying to us, or we're not willing to stand up for who we are authentically, or what counts and what matters for us. I would also say that becoming a student is going to feel really refreshing. Jupiter is in our 9th house, so we're going to feel maybe like work that we've been doing over the summer of this year. For those of you guys watching this in the future, look at 2024 and see what you were doing at that time, and you might find that there's a lot more to examine and draw from those experiences that helps you to readopt who you are. And I think Pluto will also show us where the parts of our inner child were left out in the cold, and we need to bring them in and warm them up and treat them like they're the deer, and like we're the brave, courageous lion that can protect them. Okay, let's see the orphan. The wounded child, the abandoned, and the beggar. When light, deep solace, deep acceptance, and deep love. I love that. When dark, distance, hates and avoids controlling and limiting. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. Yeah. We are ever more connected yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our connection. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It's normal to fear this card. I'm realizing that controlling, that's something that's coming up for me with this pain in my left side, in my I guess that this is the masculine energy of giving, and how I feel like I have to give something with a certainty it's going to be received. And I feel that Mercury retrograde is going to help us shift out of that need to be certain that what we have genuinely to offer will be received. We can just trust that it's going to fall and land perfectly like a beautiful snowflake on whoever is looking to catch that, you know. It's normal to fear the orphan card as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time to be in the presence of the feelings this card stirs in us. Let it humble us. And that humility came through with the lion and the deer. What are we starving for? What's the deepest gift we can imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. Libra, thank you guys so much for tuning into this reading. I hope you all have an amazing week ahead. And until next time, check me out on Instagram. I am Bambii Rose, where I give a lunar update every 2.5 days. And also find me on TikTok, where I give a 1-minute summary, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus downloads for you guys to ponder upon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everything's linked in the bio below. Until next time, all of my aloha.